Welcome back to The American Rancher. The Carver-Bowen Ranch is a family operation located near the community of Glenville in the Sierra Nevada mountains. The Bowens have raised cattle and horses in this gorgeous country since the late 1800s. The Carver-Bowen Ranch is located northeast of Bakersfield in the foothills of the Sierra Nevadas. There are 6 generations of family who have lived and worked on the ranch for over 135 years. The ranch runs cattle in both Tulare and Kern counties, with property below the tree line of the foothills, 1,500-foot elevation, to the high mountains at 8,000 feet. The headquarters of the ranch is located near Glenville. The first generation of the ranch came to California by wagon train in 1850. It is a beautiful area of meadows and timber as the elevation climbs from the Central Valley into the Sierra Nevada mountains.
Hey, Matt,
the brother and sister team of Jeff and Cindy Bowen manage the family ranch operation now.
We have a cow-calf operation. We retain our calves over as long yearlings and sell them in the spring. And our ranch is pretty diverse, and in the landscape of it, we run from down below 1,000 feet in elevation to up over 7,000 feet in elevation. Our cows are put away in the wintertime in the lower elevations, and then in the spring we start moving the cattle up and bringing them to higher elevations for the summer. All the cattle pass through the headquarters and are sorted up to go to their summer pastures.
The cows and calves go up and down the hill. They go up the hill in the spring and the summer, and then they come back down in the fall. Everything is sorted in the barnyard there. It's all sorted. We pair things and get rid of some dry cows, put them away in the fall, and take them up the hill in the spring.
Well, the cows are predominantly Hereford, but there's some Shorthorns and a few Angus in it, a few Angus bulls. Everything except the high country is an annual grass country, and the ranch is laid out according to the elevation so that you keep the cows on green feed as long as it's possible to do it. Of course, that changes every year, but it works pretty good.
The Bowens and ranchers in this area run their cattle in much the same way as they have for generations. Due to the variety of elevation on the ranch, the Bowen cattle have to rotate pastures regularly.
We calve in the late fall, early winter. It's when we have the green grass. We keep our weaners over and sell them as long yearlings the next spring. So it's September now, and we're starting to wean our calves. We'll wean them and keep them until hopefully March of April of next year. So we sell a 700-800 pound steer and heifer calf rather than a 500 pound in the summer.
All the calves that are weaned are put on the meadows and kept until a little later in the fall. And then they go to our lowest country, lower elevations, and then they stay there until springtime, until that country starts to dry up, and then those cattle are marketed where they go direct to a feedlot.
We start to supplement them in the fall with a protein supplement. It helps, and then that varies from year to year. When the grass starts to green up, why we cut back on the supplements. In a bad year, you keep putting supplement out. Every year is different.
Ancestors of the Bowen family came to California in the mid-1800s with other settlers in wagon trains from the Midwest. The Bowen, Hughes, and Carver families mined and owned various ranches in the Mother Lode. Since 1872, they have lived in the area about Glenville for generations.
Our families, there was 3 families that came across in wagon trains in 1849 out of Missouri. And they came into the gold country and were there for several years and bought cattle and took them into Tuolumne Meadows in 1864. And they came down here in 1869 and settled a little ways from here at a mine called Long Tom Mine. And they stayed there for a couple of years and bought their first piece of property up here in 1872.
Coming in as a bride to the Carver-Bowen Ranch was very interesting, and I had a wonderful mother-in-law who thought that I should participate in everything, which was really great, because then I understood how things ran and why we did things the way we did it, and it was quite an experience. And as the kids came along, why, we just picked the kids up and took them with us and all that. But no, I knew nothing about cattle or riding horses or any of that, but I was just kind of told, here's the saddle and here's the horse, get on, we're going. So, which was the best way in the world, you know.
Matthew Bowen is an ag business student at Cal Poly. He stays busy in the summer riding fence and moving stock to fresh pasture and water, which the cows have become accustomed to.
Recently we've been moving cows up the mountains and moving them around. So we'll go up there to the meadows and move them around to where there's more feed. We try and keep our older cattle as well. And so we use our older cattle that know the country and everything people talk about during droughts and stuff, selling off their whole herd, you know, and just wait until the times get good. But here you can't really do that because you have to have older cattle that know the country and stuff. Otherwise it's just going to be a long, hard battle if you have to buy a whole nother herd. So we try and take good care of our cattle and make sure we keep those older cattle in good shape so that they can lead the way on the trails and different things like that.
The rolling countryside is beautiful, and the cattle do really well on the pasture there. In the spring, the hills swell with large sprays of orange and purple as the California poppy and other wildflowers come into bloom. When we return, we'll take you up into the high country a ways to see more of the Bowen family operation. And then later, we'll take a look at their horse program. This is the American Rancher. Don't go away.